engaging for your students and something that maybe they look forward to, whether that be
Mhm.
homework, participating in class, and stuff like that?
Well, I know we have kind of a theme in my class, where we're not like, what was it, learning, but we're training. So, we at the beginning of the year, I read a book to them called The Three Ninja Pigs, and so it's the three little pigs, but with ninjas, because that makes it better. And so it's about how each pig wasn't how they prepared to face this wolf, because this wolf was menacing the town. So of course each one trained differently. The first one kind of like fell asleep in class, didn't really pay attention. And so when the wolf came, they got beat. The other one, he learned a little bit, and the teacher was like, okay, you did good, but we need to learn more. And he's like, no, I'm good. And, of course, he wasn't ready. And of course, the third pig trained and trained and trained and trained until she was like mastered it, was ready. And she, scared the wolf off. So we read that at the beginning and we just talk about, which pig do you want to be? And but what did they have to do to get, what did she have to do to get there? And so every time we start a new lesson, I say, oh, I have new training for you. Or we're going to start doing like our workshop or whatever. I said, okay, it's time for reading training or writing training or math training. So I refer to everything as training. And so when it comes to homework, again, that's just another form of training. And that's putting the responsibility on them. It's like we set these goals at the beginning of the year, but in order to meet them, you have to train. And I was like, so I will give you the time, I will give you the resources, but I'm not going to do the training for you. So you have to do it. And so homework is a part of that. So if you don't do your homework, I'm just upfront with them. I said, you're not hurting me because I already did third grade and I know my multiplication facts. I know how to read. So you're not going to hurt me if you don't do your homework. But if you want to meet your goals and be prepared, you got to train. So I think a lot of kids have kind of bought into that, and it motivates them. And I have a lot of students that come to homework club, and so they like to come and get, started on their homework. And um, and they like doing their math more than their reading, which is usually natural. It's like, is it math or reading today? It's reading. But they still do it. And then I have my reading homework is at different levels. So, some might see like, oh, well, theirs is like more challenging. It's like, I want more challenging homework. It's like, well, you got to do what you got, and so I just try to motivate them and say, like, you want to get here, you got to do the work. So, I find I've been using that theme for a couple years now, and I found it's been successful in getting the kids motivated. And then, just showing that I love learning. I love learning new things and growing, and I'm like, I'm still learning all the time, and I mess up and do this. And so I think just try to make it fun. And it's just like you won't want to get better, but we have to put the work in. So
Mhm.
long story long, that's kind of like how I try to get them like pumped up. And usually when they see you're excited, then they'll be excited too. And that seems to have worked.
Okay. And then my final question with like all of that being said,
Mhm.
how do you think just like with motivating these students and just building this academic foundation for them in these younger grade levels, how do you think that impacts them in the future? Like, do you think that helps them become more successful? Like, what aspects of their lives do you think that is ultimately impacting the most?
I think just teaching them that accountability and to like self motivate, because as I said, if you plan to do any kind of career, you have to go to college, you're going to be in school for a while. So it's like homework, it's only going to get harder. Readings are
Mhm.
only going to get longer. I'm just like, it's like, so if you're gonna do this, if you're in it for the long haul, like don't complain about this because it's nothing, right? You're in third grade,
Mhm.
like, so I want them to just love learning. And I feel like that will sustain them even the days when it's difficult. And I like them to, embrace the challenge, feel the struggle, and sometimes I mess with them, and I say, I said, well, how was this? And like, it was like, this was challenging. And I was like, that was my plan, And so it's like, oh my gosh. And, or I tell them, I said, you know what? We're going to do this. This is your first time doing it. I'm telling you right now, you're probably going to mess up. So that's okay. We're just going to do it. Okay. We'll see how it goes. So I just want them not to be afraid to fail and just, that's part of just being a lifelong learner and even showing them that I still learn and I'm still growing and like they can teach me things. And so just like and just to build their stamina, build their resilience and their grit, things like that. So I think those building those things will help them in the long run. So that's why I give them the homework and I give them the certain assignments and we do things a certain way. Because sometimes you might not get things right away, and I want them to understand that too. It's going to probably take some time and a couple mistakes and some help from others. Because I say, we're all here to help each other out. So if you see, it and they don't, help them out. Don't just sit there and watch them. Like help them, And so just like we're working together. We all want to get there together. So I just want to try to create that community and that ownership. And it's like, I want to reach this goal. So what do I have to do? And not just like, I don't get it. And just do this, or,
Mhm.
that's kind of like, I don't get it. Like, you don't get what, is you have to like, create that. So they're not doing this like helpless thing. It's like, well, I can't. So, so.
Oh, yeah. No, that was really good. It's very helpful. I'm gonna ask Chloe and Sophia if they have any extra questions that they want to ask. No? Okay. Well, thank you, Corinne. That was
You're
very
welcome.
helpful.
Great. I'm glad. I apologize for the tardiness, but like
Oh no, you're 100% good.